The Seattle Seahawks are Super Bowl champions, and almost nobody outside the Pacific Northwest saw it coming. Seattle smothered the New England Patriots 29-13 for the second Lombardi Trophy in franchise history. Here's the wild part. One of the loudest plays of the night came from a second-year defender who had never started a single professional game. He spent his whole first season rehabbing a torn knee. Then he walked onto the biggest stage in sports and did something almost nobody in history has pulled off. Hold on to him, because his name returns later, and the reason will stun you. The engine of this offense returns intact. Jackson Smith-Njigba led the entire league with 1,793 receiving yards and won Offensive Player of the Year. Sam Darnold never turned the ball over in the postseason and earned a second straight Pro Bowl. New coordinator Brian Fleury kept the winning scheme alive. Then Seattle lost its Super Bowl most valuable player at running back and let the national media laugh. The front office drafted rookie Jadarian Price in the first round, but the bigger move flew under the radar. One signing for pocket change flips the whole story, and the reveal waits. The defense carries a nickname now. Seattle calls it the Dark Side, and it wrecked the Patriots with 6 sacks and 3 takeaways. Byron Murphy, Nick Emenwari, and a wave of young talent turned a good unit into a historic one. Now the rest of the division wants blood. One rival made a blockbuster nobody predicted, a move built to hunt Seattle down. The question hanging over the season stays simple. Does anyone in football have an answer for the champs? Start with the room everyone wrote off. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Seahawks and all the NFL content. Can we get 500 likes on this video? The most repeated take of the Seattle offseason sounds the same everywhere. The running back room fell apart. Seattle lost Kenneth Walker, the Super Bowl most valuable player, to a 3-year deal in Kansas City. Zach Charbonnet, the powerful second back who scored 12 touchdowns last year, tore his knee in the playoffs and starts the season on the mend. National outlets ranked the group near the bottom of the league, one respected staff dropping Seattle all the way to 31st. On the surface, the panic makes sense. Look closer, and the story unravels fast. Start with the truth about Kenneth Walker. He earned his award with a bruising Super Bowl, and Seattle loved him. He also cleared 1,000 rushing yards only twice in his career and never posted a double-digit touchdown season. Seattle saw the exit coming and planned for it. The front office spent a first-round pick on rookie Jadarian Price, a Notre Dame back who averaged 6 yards a carry and scored 11 touchdowns on only 113 totes last fall. Fewer college carries means fresher legs and less wear on the body entering year 1. Price shared a college backfield with Jeremiah Love, the 3rd overall pick, and still flashed first-round vision every time he touched the ball. He ripped off kick return touchdowns too and earned All-American honors as an all-purpose weapon. New coordinator Brian Fleury runs a wide zone scheme built to feed multiple backs, the same system he learned in San Francisco. Seattle never wanted one workhorse. Seattle wanted a rotation. And the most interesting name in the rotation is not the rookie the headlines chased. It is a runner Green Bay let walk for nothing. Keep him in mind. Flip to the other side of the ball, and the picture turns terrifying for opponents. Seattle built the best defense in football last season, a unit good enough to hold the Patriots scoreless into the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl. Cornerback Devin Witherspoon locks down the boundary, safety Julian Love patrols the deep middle, and the front 7 swallows offenses whole. The heartbeat of the group lives on the interior. Byron Murphy entered the league with bust whispers around his name. 2 years later, he wrecks game plans from the middle of the line. Interior defenders normally exist to plug runs. Byron Murphy does far more. Last season, he posted 7 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, and 13 quarterback hits from a spot where pressure almost never comes. Numbers like those from the inside change everything a quarterback feels in the pocket. When a 3 technique collapses the middle, the edge rushers eat, the coverage tightens, and the whole defense breathes easier. Seattle owns one of the rare interior forces who tilts a game by himself. and he still has not made a Pro Bowl. Around Murphy sits a nickname earned in blood, the Dark Side. Coordinator Aiden Durds turned a solid group into a historic one, and the takeaways piled up as the season closed. 6 sacks and 3 turnovers in the Super Bowl told the story, and the unit held New England scoreless for 3 full quarters. Yet the loudest riser on this defense is not the man in the middle. It is a second-year defensive back the rest of the league slept on, a player built like a linebacker who covers like a corner. His rise is the surprise nobody prepared for. Here's the fact almost no national analyst mentions. Seattle owns one of the scariest young defensive backs in the entire sport, and he plays a spot most fans overlook. Seattle traded up to grab Nick Emmanwori with the second-round pick out of South Carolina. 6'3" and 220 pounds of movement most safeties only dream about. He chose jersey number 3, the old number of a Seattle legend. In his first season, he finished second in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. Around the building, coaches compare him to Derwin James and Kyle Hamilton. One afternoon against Atlanta tells you everything about his ceiling. In a single game, Emmanwori recorded 2 tackles for loss, a sack, a blocked field goal, and his first career interception. Defensive backs simply do not stuff a box score like his. His real value shows up in what he lets Seattle hide. With a nickel this versatile, the defense stays in one look and never tips the play. Offenses shift and motion to force a tell, and Seattle gives them nothing back. He earned a spot on the all-rookie team without a single wasted rep. Only 3 defenders in the league carry this exact blend of range, power, and coverage instinct. Emmanwori already sits in the conversation as a sophomore, and pundits expect a major leap in year 2. Pair him with Byron Murphy inside, and Seattle owns a spine most contenders would trade a draft class to build. The scary truth is the roster runs deeper still. One young lineman on the edge of this rotation carries the wildest story on the whole team, and it answers the mystery from the open. Seattle wins in the trenches, and the defensive line is loaded. Up front, you find Leonard Williams, a wrecking ball at age 32, alongside nose tackle Jaron Reed at 33. On the edge stand DeMarcus Lawrence at 34, a player weighing retirement, next to Uchenna Nwosu at 29 and veteran Dante Fowler at 31. This group powered a championship and terrorized quarterbacks all winter. It also carries a lot of birthdays, and a dynasty needs a next wave ready to take the baton. The next wave has a face already, and his story sounds made up. Riley Mills tore his knee in his final college game at Notre Dame, then slipped to the 5th round because of it. Seattle stashed him, waited, and activated him in Week 15. Watch what happened next. In the Super Bowl, on only 5 snaps, Mills bulldozed a 300-pound guard into the backfield and buried Drake May for a sack. Since sacks became official in 1982, only a few players in history have earned their first career sack in a Super Bowl. Mills finished his Notre Dame career with 17 sacks and a captain title, then lost a full year to rehab and answered with a signature moment on the sport's biggest night. He says he feels 100% all the way back to his pre-injury form. Now healthy, he steps into a rotation behind veterans who will not hold their spots forever. Byron Murphy is 23. Emmanwori is a sophomore. Mills is 24. Derek Hall on the edge is 25. Seattle is not merely defending a title. Seattle is stacking a defense built to rule the back half of this decade. And the division noticed. The rest of the NFC West spent the offseason chasing Seattle, and one rival swung the biggest hammer in years. The Los Angeles Rams already own the reigning, most valuable player in Matthew Stafford, star receiver Puka Nacua, and veteran Devontae Adams. They upgraded the secondary too, trading for corner Trent McDuffie and adding Jalen Watson beside him. They lost to Seattle in the NFC Championship, a 31-27 heartbreaker. Then Los Angeles decided good was not good enough. In June, the Rams pulled off a blockbuster nobody predicted. They shipped a haul of picks and a young pass rusher to Cleveland for Myles Garrett, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, fresh off a record 23-sack season. Los Angeles now fields the most valuable player on offense and the best defender in football on the other side, the first team since the merger to pull off both in the same year. The message aimed straight at Seattle. Beat this. The division arms race went nuclear, and the Rams are all in for a Super Bowl run on their own home field. Here's why Seattle sleeps fine. The champs already beat this Rams core when it mattered most, on the road to a title. Seattle owns the quarterback who never turned the ball over in the playoffs, the Offensive Player of the Year at receiver, and the deepest front seven in the conference. One elite pass rusher does not erase a full roster gap. San Francisco, meanwhile, wrestles with its own drama and a thin defensive interior. The West still runs through Seattle until someone knocks the crown off. Nobody has managed it yet. Now the reveal the whole breakdown has pointed toward. Remember the runner Seattle signed for pocket change, the one the national media ignored. His name is Emmanuel Wilson, and he might be the best value starter in football. An undrafted findout of tiny Fort Valley State, he grew up a Seahawks fan and called the signing a childhood dream come true. Green Bay let him walk for nothing this spring. Seattle scooped him up on a one-year deal worth around $2 million. For a potential starting running back, teams pay 10 times as much. Here's why the signing wins. Wilson sat behind Josh Jacobs for 3 seasons and barely touched the field, which means fresh legs and low mileage on a runner entering year 4. When Green Bay finally handed him a start, he answered with 107 yards and 2 touchdowns against Minnesota. Analysts graded him among the best pure runners in the entire league last season. A heavy 230-pound back with a career average near 4.5 yards, a carry does not fall into your lap for $2 million often. Stack it together, and the panic looks foolish. Seattle pairs a fresh first-round rookie in Jadarian Price with a bruising, efficient veteran in Emmanuel Wilson, behind a rebuilt offensive line, inside a scheme designed to run the ball. Add a healthy Zach Charbonnet back from injury by mid-season, and the room the whole league mocked turns into a genuine strength. The critics saw a name leave. Seattle saw a plan click into place. The reveal lands hard, and it swings the whole outlook for the season ahead. So does anyone have an answer for the champs? Here's the honest verdict. The Rams got scary, the West got loaded, and Seattle still sits on top of the mountain. The champs return the Offensive Player of the Year, a turnover-free playoff quarterback, a historic defense, and a young core getting better by the month. Adding Myles Garrett to Los Angeles closes the gap on paper. It does not flip the standings. Talent wins games, and Seattle owns the depth, the scheme, and the scars from a full title run. Time for a bold call. Seattle wins the NFC West again and finishes 13-4, and the division race ends before Thanksgiving. Put Jackson Smith-Njigba down for another 1,500-yard season and a second straight trip past this Rams roster in January. This has the look of the team of the decade in the making. Some of you think the Garrett trade tips the West to Los Angeles. Tell me straight in the comments. Champs until proven otherwise, or is the crown already slipping off? One more thing before the season kicks off. The pieces here run deeper than a single video holds, and the next breakdown digs into the exact matchup everyone is dreading. Seattle against the loaded Rams, position by position. Drop your win total prediction below and subscribe before the next one drops, because the road to a repeat starts right now. The champs got younger, richer, and hungrier. The rest of the league got a warning. Seattle is not done, and the encore is coming. Lock in your prediction, hit subscribe, and stick around, because the best team in football lives in Seattle.